Hey, thanks so much for having me. This is such a thrill. I love Locust. It's such an honor to be reading with y'all. I've got my Locust mug right here, and you can get one of these for yourself if you go to the Locust website. Oops, the Zoom background is trying to eat my mug, but there it is. It's a beautiful mug. Okay, just gonna jump right in. There's nothing quieter than the sound of dreams not coming true. The moment when reality sinks in and Gwen realizes she's never going to have the thing she's been yearning for since high school, the thing that she made so much space in her life to accommodate, has almost no soundtrack. Distant car tire rumbles, the stutter of the clinic's automatic sliding door behind her, and her own shallow breaths are the only things she hears. Gwen doesn't cry. She just leans against the side of her old second-hand Toyota and stares at a grassy lot full of trash on the other side of a chicken wire fence. How do you even mourn the loss of something you never even had? She knew something was wrong the moment she saw the mask of sympathy on Dr. Franklin's face. No, wait. She knew much earlier than that. She's felt it for days, in her bones, in the lead up to this appointment at the Clinton County Fertility Center. The treatments haven't been working. Some part of her knew before Dr. Franklin said, "I'm afraid I have bad news, and we did our level best. She's not going to get pregnant. Maybe she'll adopt eventually." She hasn't even looked into adoption yet, but she got the impression that there are waiting lists and gatekeepers and balls to balance on your nose like a performing seal, and that a single woman in dental hygienist school will be at the bottom of the list. She can't even bear to start thinking seriously about it yet because this IVF business took too much out of her. "I'm going to eat a donut," Gwen says out loud. "No, screw that. I'm going to eat a dozen donuts, and I'm going to listen to show tunes so loud my ears ring and stay up all night watching Kitchen Nightmares. I'm not responsible for a soul in the world besides myself. Time has started acting like it." For a second, she glances upward at the big, vacant lot, and one of the trash islands seems to move. A tarp over a mini fridge shifts slightly. Probably just the wind, but could be a raccoon. She gets in her Toyota and holds the key near the ignition. Not crying, just staring. Someone is hiding under the tarp and inside the mini fridge, a creature with a sheet of moss or kind of a greasy film all over his face. Junior explorer Minowl is getting a cramp in his left arm and his right leg, and the air is cold, and he has a stiff neck from sleeping on a tile floor earlier. But he watches Gwen sitting hunched over inside her car, and he feels something inside him reach out towards her. Gwen's grief is very different than Minowl's, but they're both grieving. He thinks about the way she talked to herself in the parking lot. "I'm going to eat a dozen donuts." Her voice had a sweetness to it, a playfulness. Minowl feels certain in his lung spleen. Gwen Maines would be a good parent for a most unusual child. He watches her drive away, heading down the bypass road toward the donut place. No need to follow. He can track her to her home easily enough. Instead, Minowl heads back to the abandoned, semi-underground structure where junior technician Farathis is watching over the baby. The sign on the front says, "Video Junction," but there's nothing inside but cement pillars. Whenever Minowl sees the baby, he has to stop and look into her big, reddish-blue eyes, just searching for some trace of the woman that he would have died for, the woman who instead died for him, along with everyone else on the Inquisitive. The baby is swallowed in a piece of bed mesh inside an oval-shaped protective capsule on top of a pile of crates. "Great hopes and tiny disappointments," Farathis said during Minowl of his reverie. Minowl gives the proper response without thinking. "Boisterous companions and quiet ghosts." "So," Farathis says, "I can't wait to hear your report." Ferothis is a Scanthian with reddish-green skin and thick spikes coming off all over, and she's also a junior officer, which means neither Minowl nor Ferothis outranks the other, but alternate Captain Roathix put Ferothis in charge. Gwen Mains is the one. I'm certain of it. Minowl looks at the baby instead of his fellow officer as if he needs to convince the child that Gwen should be her mother. You should have seen her. She has a spirit that is both gentle and generous. And her vehicle, it was coated with rust. Rust is not considered a blessing on this planet, Ferothis reminds him. Minowl's people, the Yarthan, believe that rust is a gift from the gods. That chemical reaction where iron oxidizes and releases free electrons is a holy favor, even holier than the making of chlorine and lye. Fine, Minowl says. I'm just telling you. Gwen Mains will care for this child as her own. She'll do well. One single human on her own. Ferothis frowned so hard her cheek spikes almost crossed. What about the family, the Redfields? I saw them arguing after they left the clinic, Minowl sighs. They lacked gentleness with each other. He doesn't bother to mention that the Redfields' car was rust-free because he knows Ferothis won't understand. Ferothis pokes her quant and a glowing puff of information appears in her right hand. The Inquisitive can't hide in orbit forever. And we can't risk anyone finding out where we hid the child. We must not wait any longer, but also we cannot make a mistake. We should choose the Redfields because two parents will provide a more optimal environment. One parent can be better than two if she's the right parent, Minowl insists. Families come in many shapes. I had a single parent, just like many of my friends back home, and I turned out fine. And just look at Butno the Worthy. He had 7 parents, and he's never learned how to behave. Minowl and Ferothis both snort, thinking of the disgusting way that Butno the Worthy always chews float beast liver with his mouth open. Ferothis hesitates. I still think you have to trust my judgment, Minowl says firmly. We've suffered a great ordeal and a terrible loss, and nobody wants this baby to be safe more than I do. And my instincts tell me that Gwen Mains will be a strong protector. Loud sigh, shivering spikes. Very well, Ferothis said. Bring the child. Let us visit this Gwen Mains. I dearly hope we can be on our way back to the ship soon. Minowl can't help doing the Yarthan victory dance, but he does it very softly so as not to upset the child. Gods, the child has her eyes after all. She's giving Minowl the same stare that used to unnerve him when it came from his beloved captain. She will command a starship again one day. She must, or all of this was for nothing. He takes the ovoid capsule and hoists it on one shoulder, and they set off towards Gwen Mains' house, hoping against hope that no humans notice 2 aliens and a baby sneaking across town. Gwen Mains pours some Chablis into a mug that says, "Don't even ask," with a grumpy cartoon badger on it, and wraps her bathrobe around the responsible prospective mom shirt and slacks she wore to the fertility clinic for her final last-ditch appointment. Her old flip phone rings again. Rosie wanting to know how it went. Gwen doesn't have the heart to speak her defeat out loud right now. Her 3rd-floor apartment is tiny, just a kitchenette and a bedroomette and a bathroomette, surrounding a living room big enough for a couple of beanbags and a bookshelf with a small TV. But right now, the apartment feels huge and noisy. The refrigerator whines like a mosquito, the radiator rattles, the toilet gurgles, and the scuffed white walls feel like they're a million miles away. It turns out a dozen donuts is a lot. Gwen has barely made a dent in the 3rd one. She skipped the sugar high and went straight to the crash. Okay, so she's never going to be a mom unless she adopts or marries a single dad. She'll have more time for hobbies. She could take up croquet. She likes grass and hitting things. Ugh. She just wraps herself tighter in her fuzzy pink bathrobe. Someone is ringing her doorbell. She almost ignores it, but her Midwestern politeness takes over and she trudges down the stairs to the front entrance. On the other side of the wrought iron front gate, there are two large people wearing identical red pajamas and fancy boots, holding a sky blue egg. The bigger of the two is covered with quills like a hedgehog and smiles with blocky teeth. The smaller one has a slimy film all over their noseless face. Gwen Mains, may you walk in gentle sunlight and sleep under bright stars, says the slime-faced creature. We have come a very long way to find you because we see greatness and gentleness in you, and we want to offer you something more precious than we can explain. Gwen just stares. Then she looks down at her best pair of slacks poking out from below her bathrobe. It's kind of late. Can you come back tomorrow? We cannot, said the tall one with the hedgehog quills. We are running out of time. They look around nervously. We are too exposed out here. Can we come inside, please? We promise we mean no harm. They both have weird eyes. The mossy-faced one has dark, limpid gumdrops, which are wide with some kind of yearning. And the spiky one has the greenest irises Gwen has ever seen. She can't look into either pair of eyes and know if she should trust these people. Anything you want to say to me, you can say out here. Moss-Face sighs. Very well. I am Junior Explorer Minowl, and my pronoun is he. We are visitors from deep space, and we have just suffered a grievous loss. Our beloved comrade died, but we were able to clone her in time. The clone is still a newborn, and she looks like an alien, but we have the means to alter her DNA so she will appear to be a human, but actually a genetic match for you. You can raise this child as your own. All we ask is that you keep her safe and hidden from other aliens who might wish her harm. Oh. Gwen almost faints. She gets the woozy, spinny head thing, but then she just leans against the door frame. Could you say that whole thing 3 more times? Minowl looks around anxiously. A car drives past and someone is walking their dog. Then he sighs and says the whole thing 3 more times. Okay, thanks.